Good afternoon, thank you very much and welcome here to Kenny Park in Athenry. It's round 3 of the Bond Secure Galway Senior Football Championship, and a big game for both these teams as well. Both have guaranteed qualification for the knockout stages of the Galway Senior Football Championship, but one of them today will get direct passage through to the quarter-finals. Cuilinn have 2 wins from 2 in the competition so far. Avoiding defeat will guarantee that they will top Group 2, but for St. James's, lost out to Cuilinn by 1 point in the opening round. If they were to get a result here today, then depending what's happening in our other live game here on Galway GATV, and that's the game between Barron and Ferbica and Cuilinn, which you can access as well in association with broadcast partners Stream Sport. If Cuilinn do not win that game, a point will do for St. James's. If Cuilinn were to beat Barron and Ferbica, they might need to win this contest by 5. We'll go through all the permutations over the course of the next hour and a half or so, but for now we'll focus on the football. We'll focus on the 2 teams, and we will start with St. James's and look at their starting 15. So St. James's have a couple of changes from their last day out. We'll quickly run through their starting 15. Cian Costello is in goal. A full back line of Jack Folan, Cathal O'Regan and Owen Finnerty, who wears number 5. The half back line sees Dan McNulty, he wears 11. Dale Masterson comes into the team for the first time this season, the former Clare footballer. At centre back, wearing number 7, and number 19 is Ryan O'Toole. In midfield, wearing number 8 is the player of the year for Galway last year, Paul Conroy, partnered by Sam O'Neill. The half forward line for St. James's 12 is Jonah Culligan, 14 Fintan Cooney gets his first start, and Jack O'Neill returns after representing Galway Boston, and he's on the left wing forward. And the inside line, it's Jack Nolan wearing number 13, Stephen McCooey number 15, and Brian Kane, who got 1 treat the last day, wears number 17. That is St. James's, and now we look at the Cuilinn starting 15. So Cuilinn in green there, which got 2-time county champions recently. Here's their starting 15. Pierce Greeley wears number 1 in goal. Full back line of 20, Mark Bradley, 3, Mike Maughan, and 4 is Owen Maguire. Owen Kelly 6, Sean Kelly, the Galway captain 17, and David Wynn 5 at the half back line. Jared Davern 22 and Tom Clark 21 are midfield. Johnny Maloney 10, Niall Walsh 11, Neil Mulcahy 29 at the half forward line. Sean O'Connor 7, Fiacre McDonough 14, and Desi Keneally 15 the inside line. As you can hear, we have a Ron of in. All the formalities are over now. We're nearly ready to start the action. It is a very windy day here in Kenny Park, even though conditions look absolutely excellent. And no doubt it'll be challenging for both of the teams as well, but their focus will be on getting the job done. St. James's, of course, in the maroon and green, and Cuilinn on your screen there at the moment, the green with the white stash going through them there as well. They are the favourites, Cuilinn. They were in the last 2 county finals. Indeed, they've been in 4 county finals since 2020, winning in 2020 and 2022 under the recently passed Don Connellan, who of course we think about today during this broadcast, and we're in the final the last 2 years, losing out narrowly to Cuilinn in 2023 and 2024. For St. James's, they threw away 9-point advantage in their opening game against Cuilinn, but got the job done in the second outing, beating Barron and Ferbica by 14 to 13 points. That puts them in this position here as well, and if they were to win this game as well, it'll be a great turnaround for themselves. And we'll just see now in a moment what way the teams will line up for this game. The sun is out strong as well. But we have every kick of the ball for you. And of course, we mentioned we'll be keeping an eye on the other game we're broadcasting live on Galway GATV in association with Stream Sport. Both of them in Group 2, as we will learn for certain which team is getting knocked out of the championship, which team is going straight through to the quarterfinals, and which 2 teams will be in the preliminary quarterfinal draw, which takes place tomorrow. Right in front of us here in the commentary box is Paul Conroy. He's the man that will sit out and allow Sam O'Neill to go in for the start. The referee for this game is James Malloy. And he's making sure everybody's where they're meant to be. St. James's will attack the goal to the left in the first half. The wind seems to favour that direction, but it's not quite straightforward. The ball is thrown in. The game is on. And it's Sam O'Neill who takes possession for St. James's. And he'll try and launch the first attack down the field as they want to get the opening score of this game. The side managed by Owen Cannon and Dara Leonard. Push on the back. And it's going to be a free for St. James's. An opportunity for themselves to try and get the opening score of the game. The town goal to the right, Paul Conroy has hit 3 2-pointers in the championship so far. And he'll get ready to take this. Bit of distance there as well, as you'd expect. He's outside the 50-metre line. He was well able to put them over from that in the old rules, relishing the new rules. Paul Conroy, the Galway player, goes for the kick at the post. It has the distance in it. It's knocked. It's gone to the right and wide, says the umpire, so no score in the game so far. St. James's no score, Cuilinn no score. This is the third consecutive year in the championship they have met. Last year Cuilinn were winners by 9 points to 6. Very, very tight in the closing stages before they got a couple of late scores. They met in 2023, 2-11 to 1-8. It finished to Cuilinn on that occasion. They've won the last 4 meetings between the teams. As the ball breaks down towards the middle of the park, Jonah Culligan has possession, finds a teammate inside the 65-metre line. Now the ball is with Dan McNulty. Dan McNulty gives it off to Jack O'Neill. Jack is back. Can he start with a score? Not to be. The ball goes out over the line. Second wide of the game for St. James's. St. James is on 2 points from their 4 games, but they can't end up in relegation because of a potential mini-table with themselves and Cuilinn. They have a positive scoring difference, and of course somebody has to have a negative. Their target here today is trying to put one over the side that has beaten them their last 4 meetings, going back to 2016, when Cuilinn won by 16 points to 13, the year after they won the Intermediate Championship. Ball breaks in the middle of the park. It's going to be a Cuilinn ball. And it's Johnny Maloney with the ball. Gives the pass off. Johnny Maloney's in possession there now. So we're just watching the play here at the moment. Desi Keneally sends the ball across. David Wynn has the ball there now, looking for a way in. This is good play here by Cuilinn. It might be an opportunity for a score. Comes across Fiacre McDonough. He'll fist it over the bar. As the opening score of the game, it has taken 3 minutes. It's Fiacre McDonough, got 2 goals the last day, fists the ball over the bar. And it's Cuilinn, 1 point. St. James's no score. So ball breaks the far side of the field. Sam O'Neill will restart the action. Leaves it for Paul Conroy. It's a very strong gusty wind. Ball comes across to Dan McNulty. Dan McNulty for St. James's. Moving up towards the 45-metre line. Looking for a way inside. Finds a teammate. That's Owen Finnerty. Owen Finnerty back to Jack O'Neill. And Jack O'Neill will give it to the brother Sam. Both of them now Galway senior footballers. Dale Masterson has represented Clare on the 65-metre line out the far side of the field in the direction of Jack Nolan, also a man who's kicked 3 2-pointers in the championship so far. Got 2 of them at the start of the game against Cuilinn. Is he going to go for one here? They're trying to make the distance count. St. James's. Third wide of the game. And the sun has just gone in. There's a few dark clouds working their way here to Kenny Park in Athenry. The Cuilinn goalkeeper is Pierce Greeley. 7 debutants Cuilinn had in their opening day victory against Barnon and Ferbiga. So Pierce Greeley gets the action restarted. Jared Davern back in the Cuilinn team. Gives it to Neil Mulcahy, another came off the bench the last day in their 3-17 to 1-16 victory over Cuilinn. So Neil Mulcahy moving up towards the 45-metre line. David Wynn now in possession outside the 45-metre line. Has support. Owen Kelly is there. He didn't play the last day. Over the ball. Paul Conroy gets close, but Owen still holds on to possession. Paul Conroy gets a touch in again. And third time he goes to the ground, but it's legal, says the referee. David Wynn holds possession. Bit of pushing going on there as well. Dale Masterson getting his hands into. The ball goes out over the line. And I think St. James's thought it looked like the umpire was signalling that was meant to be a St. James's ball. And that is the decision. So they will restart the action. Just coming up towards the 5-minute mark here in the Bond Secure Galway Senior Football Championship in Kenny Park. Athenry just a 1 score in the game. Cuilinn 1 point. St. James's no score. Sean Kelly doesn't get his hands on the ball on that occasion. And it's Stephen McCooey. Always good for 2 points a game is Stephen. Used to play in Loud. Gives it across to Fintan Cooney in the starting team, across to Sam O'Neill. Sam might take about the 2-pointer here. Sam O'Neill with a kick at the post. It's gone over the bar. We wait for the official signal. It's a 2-pointer for St. James's. And Sam O'Neill puts the ball over the bar in the 6th minute of the game. And it's St. James's 2 points. Cuilinn 1. Good play from left to right by St. James's. And they get the 2 score. The scoreboard here in Kenny Park has given it the wrong way. But it's St. James's 2 points, Cuilinn 1. So we start the action and raise Cuilinn get it out again. Ball's with Dale Masterson. Dale Masterson fisted forward. Again, it's with Dale. Take the 1-2 on the occasion with Brian Kane. This is a free shot for St. James's, many pundits reckon during the week. We're already through to the knockout stages. Sam O'Neill between the 45 and the 65-metre line. Looking for support, moves up towards the 45. His options right, options left. Ups to go with Fintan Cooney. Fintan Cooney looking for the options there as well. St. James is trying to queue up the orange flags. They know how important they will be. But you have to make sure you take them as well. The wind is very, very strong. Dale Masterson outside the 45-metre line. Looking for options. Good defending there by Cuilinn, but they haven't won the ball back. Paul Conroy tried to get the pass off there, just lost control for a moment. Owen Finnerty to Jack O'Neill, back to Owen Finnerty. Now they go inside, he'll go for the shot. Owen Finnerty with the kick, it's gone over the bar. I thought for a moment he wasn't going to get there, but it does go over the bar. And St. James's now lead by 3 points to 1. The scoreboard in Kenny Park has been corrected. So good start for St. James's. And with the new rules, you always wonder how much is a gap. As we mentioned earlier on, they had a 9-point lead the first day against Cuilinn, and it wasn't enough. Pierce Greeley gets us going again. Out in the direction of Jared Davern, who takes the ball, wins the mark. Takes the quick solo and goal. We'll out the solo, Niall Walsh. Out the far side of the field, Neil Mulcahy. Neil Mulcahy back to Niall Walsh. Back to Neil. This is good, but Cuilinn now as Neil Mulcahy gets inside. Owen Finnerty keeping close. He had the hands out there. The referee says it was illegal. And it's going to be a free in for Cuilinn, and there'll be a chance for Desi Keneally, the top scorer in the championship, with 2:15 to get his opening score of the afternoon here. Just coming up towards the 8-minute mark. Just on the edge of the D, Desi Keneally, the man that captained Cuilinn to their 2 county title successes in 2020 and 2022, takes the kick. The umpires look at each other. There was never a doubt about it. The ball goes over the bar. 8 minutes gone. It's Cuilinn 2 points, St. James's 3. So Keane Costello is the goalkeeper for St. James's. There's a bit of football with Redmore AFC as well. Kicks the ball out towards the middle of the park. Good distance, you can see the distance on it. The question is, can one of his teammates get the ball? Brian Kane did his best to keep it in. So it's going to be a Cuilinn restart. And they decide to go short. 21 is Tom Clark. Tom Clark finds a teammate there now, and they'll bring it across the field. Some of the hairstyles are interesting. Mike Maughan gives it up the field now. They're on the move again, or Cuilinn. Inside the 45-metre line. This is good play here by Niall Walsh. Niall Walsh finds Desi. Desi Keneally will give it back. Cuilinn no, just need to be patient with the ball in the first half. Owen Kelly playing on the right. He's coming up towards the 45-metre line. Looking for an option inside. The rain has started to fall down here now. And Kenny Park, has been a mixed bag of weather today between the sun, wind, and now the rain. A kick at the post for Cuilinn. And the ball has gone over the bar. Point for Cuilinn there to get them back on level terms. 3 points apiece. And it's Sean O'Connor, the man that gets the score. Another making his way into the Cuilinn team. So the sides are level for the first time. 3 points apiece between St. James's and Cuilinn. St. James's don't waste time restarting the action. Stephen McCooey wins the ball. Paul Conroy's there as well, trying to find a way inside. He has the advantage. It's going to be a free shot at the posts. And the ball has gone over the bar. Getting very, very difficult to see here at the moment. But St. James's go into the lead by 4 points to 3. And a good response by St. James's. And Jonah Cuilinn, the man that got that score for them. So St. James's 4 points, Cuilinn 3. The ball goes out over the line. Jack O'Neill to restart the action. Sending the ball inside in the direction of Paul Conroy. Paul Conroy to Brian Kane. Brian Kane goes for a shot at the post. And Brian Kane puts the ball over the bar. Another score by St. James's. And it's now 5 points to 3. And any thoughts of the Irish summer continuing for another while seem to be over here, because the rain is right belting into us here in the commentary box. So Pierce Greeley restart the action. Sends it out the field. Breaks down by Brian Kane. Brian Kane to Fintan Cooney. Fintan Cooney loses possession. Cuilinn come in to win the ball back. Good play in that occasion by Niall Walsh. Sean Kelly trying to bring it up the field a bit. Has support out to his right and Tom Clark. Tom Clark down towards the inside line. Vicar McDonough plays a 1-2 with Johnny Maloney. But St. James's have turned over the ball. Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill to Paul Conroy. Paul Conroy with a kick outside the 65-yard line, sent it across the field. Across the field towards Jack Nolan. Jack Nolan with the ball now on the right side of the field. Can he work away inside? Plays a pass in there for Brian Kane. This could be good for St. James's. And a cannon off the defender and off the attacker, and doesn't materialise into a score. So it remains St. James's 5 points, Cuilinn 3. 12 minutes gone in the first half. Restart by St. James's. Taking the goal to the left, if you're just joining us here on Galway GAA TV in association with Stream Sport. Dale Masterson wearing number 7. He's the centre back, but pushing up the field. Plays the ball into space. St. James's are working these tactics very, very well at the moment. Are they getting enough scores to make it count is the question. Fintan Cooney with a kick at the post. And the umpires say no. 4 wides for St. James's. So Pierce Greeley will get us going. Kick out the field. Fintan Cooney to Sam O'Neill. Jack Nolan sends it inside, and Sam might try and finish the half. He didn't get control of the ball. And it goes out wide. Don't want to overstate the weather, but it's like monsoon conditions have really hit us here in Kenny Park in Athenry. It has been windy all day, as we said at the start of the broadcast. Pierce Greeley to restart the action. The Cuilinn goalkeeper has been very busy in the opening 14 minutes of this game. Out the field, and St. James is happy enough to let the ball go off over the line. Paul Conroy, and he'll kick it back in the direction of Dale Masterson. Dale Masterson with possession finds his teammate. They'll move it up towards the 45-yard line. Growing in confidence. Ryan O'Toole was the man there, we're number 19. Dale Masterson again to Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill to Fintan Cooney. Fintan Cooney finds a teammate. This is good. Ryan O'Toole inside the 65-yard line. Paul Conroy does a solo. Looks up for options. Jack O'Neill's in front of him, but Paul will go himself. There was no real options inside. Oh! And Pierce Greeley, just a bounce, nearly caught him out. Paul Conroy looked like a just drop a ball and see what happens. Something nearly did happen. But it remains St. James's 5 points, Cuilinn 3. And Cuilinn will bring the ball up the field. Owen Kelly inside the 65-metre line. Took the pass from Johnny Maloney. Gives it off to Sean O'Connor. Sean O'Connor coming back at times. Down officially is the corner forward for the game, but in these conditions, you need bodies in the middle of the park. Cuilinn just playing with the ball, letting the clock tick away. We're inside the second quarter. St. James's 5 points, Cuilinn 3 is the score here in the Galway Senior Football Championship. We'll give you an update on our other live game in a moment to see what's happening in that game in Pearse Stadium between Barron and Ferbica and Cuilinn. We're watching Cuilinn trying to create a scoring opportunity as the rain seems to have abated just for a moment. Niall Walsh. Niall Walsh will kick it in towards the space. Again, the bounce not working out. Dan McNulty will win it back for St. James's, where they're playing with the ball in danger area. Fintan Cooney, wearing number 14, back in the full back line. Gives it to the goalkeeper, Keane Costello. Now, it wasn't the goalkeeper, my apologies, but it's out now with Ryan O'Toole. Ryan O'Toole to Jack O'Neill. And Jack O'Neill will send it up the field. St. James's majority possession in the first half, but they just lead by 2 points. Owen Finnerty wears number 5. He's giving the ball off to Dale Masterson. Dale Masterson finds a teammate outside the 45-metre line. Jonah Culligan. Will he have a pop? He thinks about it. Fisted inside. Stephen McCooey. Back to Paul Conroy. He's on the edge of it. It'll be up to the referee. Paul Conroy with the shot. It's a wide ball anyway, so it doesn't matter whether it was 1 or 2. It doesn't count for anything. So Pearse Greeley to get things going again. So free, or not the restart for Cuilinn. Out the field towards the 2 number 10s on your screen. 2 Cuilinn players bumped into each other. Might work out with Jack O'Neill from St. James's. Jack O'Neill down the left. Looking for support. Brian Kane. Brian Kane trying to find a way inside. He'll give it back to Dan McNulty. Dan McNulty inside the 45-metre line. Looks for support. Dale Masterson outside the 45-metre line. Again, St. James is trying to tee it up. Dale Masterson. Oh, I thought he was going to tee it up. He goes inside. It'll only be one if it goes over, but they all count. Dale Masterson with the kick, and again, it doesn't count. 6 wides in the game for St. James's. They are trying to take advantage of the elements, but they've left a few chances behind them as well, and Cuilinn will have these elements in their favour in the second half. So we look at the clock, 17 minutes and 50 seconds gone. Pearse Greeley sends it out the field. Great jumping down occasion by David Wynn from Cuilinn, surrounded by 3 players as the ball has been turned over. Hasn't been cleanly won. Paul Conroy to Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill will send it back to Stephen McCooey. He wears number 15. Across the field, Ryan O'Toole. Ryan O'Toole looking for a way inside. Sam O'Neill is there again outside the 45-metre line. Stephen McCooey. Ryan O'Toole, number 19. Action happening inside the Cuilinn 65-metre line. Dale Masterson with possession. Jonah Culligan, already been on the scoreboard. He'll visit to Jack O'Neill. St. James is holding onto the ball, waiting for the right moment. Fintan Cooney. Dan McNulty. Dan McNulty now brings it back in towards the centre channel. Cuilinn just picking up their players. Of course, the 3 players have to stay in the opposing half of the field. Owen Finnerty fisted forward to Dan McNulty. Dan McNulty finds a teammate. That teammate was Jack Nolan. St. James's are working their way closer towards the target. Dan McNulty, will he go for a shot? Not to be. Owen Finnerty. Paul Conroy might have a go. He's going to hit it high anyway. It's going to be close. It's going to drop down. Drop down towards the goalkeeper, Pearse Greeley. He needed the defenders to be there. St. James's have won the ball back. Stephen McCooey. Can he find a way inside? He has the advantage for a free. He'll go for the shot himself. And Stephen McCooey puts the ball over the bar. It's been a while since we had a score, but St. James's get it again. And it's now 6 points to 3 to St. James's. And the 19 and a half minutes gone in the first half. So St. James is in the lead. Cuilinn restart the action. Long ball down the field will break for Dale Masterson. He's been reading the game very, very well. His first appearance in this year's championship. Down to Dan McNulty. Dan McNulty doesn't get the ball, but he's managed to help it into space for Owen Finnerty. Owen Finnerty back to Sam O'Neill. Sam O'Neill to the brother Jack. Jack O'Neill just holding onto the ball. Fintan Cooney. Fintan Cooney outside the 65-metre line. You're watching the Galway Senior Football Championship here on Galway GATV with Stream Sporting Kenny Park and Athenry. The final round of group games, Jonah Cuilinn gives it to Paul Conroy. Paul Conroy could show up anywhere in the field, get back to Jonah. Jonah Cuilinn to Jack O'Neill. He's been involved in an awful lot of moves in the first half. The 3 changes, of course, on the team. Fintan Cooney, he came off the bench the last day. Jack O'Neill and Dale Masterson, all starting for St. James's. Fintan Cooney with the ball. Cuilinn won't mind this because they have the elements in the second half and they have the experience. Sam O'Neill with possession. The club from Renmore, Merview, Ballyban and Good Shepherd. Dale Masterson goes for a move in there. The hands are out by Jared Davrin, and I think the free was given. So St. James's will win a free about 50 yards out from the goal, attacking the left as we look at it here in the commentary box. And Paul Conroy will stand over this. So more than likely Paul Conroy will have a go for an orange flag. St. James has started this championship in electric fashion with 5 orange flags in the first half of their opener. So Paul Conroy, 50 yards out. Just over 8 minutes to half time. This will be a big score if it goes over. He took his time. Paul Conroy, it goes over the bar. It's an orange flag. It's a 2-pointer. And St. James's are gone 5 points in front. St. James's 8 points. Cuilinn 3. That was a big score. Puts a bit more control on the scoreboard. 5 points between the teams. So again, Pierce Greeley to get us up and running again. He had a big save from Ryan Roach the last day against Cuilinn. Sam O'Neill breaks the ball down for Stephen McCooey. He didn't bring it with him. Sean Kelly wins the ball and he wins the free. Goes to a solo and go, and I think Sean is complaining he was never given the space to go. He's won a second free. Jared Davern wanted to go, but a lot of referees are not letting an extra player go with it. If the foul player goes with it, that's one thing. So, sideways across to Owen Kelly. Cuilinn have a chance now to hold on to the ball for a bit. They won't take any needless risks. They won't be panicking. Managed by Carl Clancy. They'll be going. There's plenty of time for this, and Sean O'Connor takes possession back. Moving down the left-hand side. There's a bit of space open up here for him now, but he's still a long way from goal. Sam O'Neill marking him. Gives the pass across. And we're back out towards the 65-metre line. Playing the 45-metre line. David Wynn with possession. Cuilinn now just trying to probe. They haven't scored in a while. This is the 10th minute of the game. Number 10 for them is Johnny Maloney, the former Offaly captain. And we're back out the field again towards the 45-metre line. Johnny Maloney. Holding on to possession. Dan McNulty staying very, very close to him. The sun is back out here again in Kenny Park, but I would not be surprised if we get another mix of weather before this game is over. Cuilinn playing the clock down. 5.5 minutes to half time. St. James's 8 points. Cuilinn 3 is the score. Niall Walsh for Cuilinn. Across to Tom Clark. Mentioned the Cuilinn started the championship with 7 debutants. They have lost Owen Gallagher this year in particular, but they will be bringing some of their main names back. And a strong squad for the knockout stages, which they're guaranteed to be part of. Desi Keneally sends the ball across the field. And Cuilinn just play with the ball inside the 45-metre line. Players marking each other off it. This is good play there. Now can they finish with a score? There's an opportunity here now. A fist towards the goal. That won't count anyway because it was fisted. It was an attempt at a point. It was Niall Walsh, the man that went for it. So Cuilinn have hit the ball in the back of the net, but no score. It remains Cuilinn 3 points, St. James's 8. They could have done with a point in that particular occasion. A lot of football to be played here. Owen Finnerty gives the ball back to Cathal Regan. Cathal Regan, one of the experienced players. Indeed, he's one of 5 survivors from the St. James's panel that would have played Cuilinn in that championship game back in 2016. James Egan doesn't start, as does Adam Lee. Paul Conroy is on the field as well. 2 on the field, 5 in the panel. Fenton Cooney down the field. There's 4 survivors from Cuilinn. We'll tell you about those in a bit, but we're watching the action here with Dale Masterson. And Dale Masterson moving inside, goes for the shot. And that goes out to the left and wide. 3.5 minutes to half time here. 5 points between the teams. And I think we're having a change. So Cuilinn are going to make a change. Charlie Cox started the last 2 games. Comes on the field to play. And he comes on for Faker McDonough. Ryan O'Toole across to Jack O'Neill. Good interception there from Cuilinn, but the ball goes out over the line, the far side of the field. Jack O'Neill to restart the action. 3 minutes to the break. Sean Kelly, Desi Keneally and David Wynn at the Cuilinn players that played that game in 2016. Peter Cook is on the panel. Yet to make his appearance this season. Ryan O'Toole on the move. Moving towards the 45-metre line is Ryan O'Toole. He's gained some good ground. Looks for support. Paul Conroy. Paul Conroy finds a teammate. Good. They go for a shot at the post. Pierce Greeley had the wherewithal to let it go. The wides are building up for St. James's. Cuilinn, though, looking a bit nervous with the chances they're conceding. And Pierce Greeley to get us going again. There'll be 1 minute of added time. At the end of the first half, we still have 2 minutes of the normal time to play here. And Pierce Greeley restarts the action, taken by Jack O'Neill. Clean take in the middle of the field. Looking for somebody to go into a position and nobody's volunteering. And you would just worry that St. James lacking that bit of assertiveness at the moment that they would need. Now, they learned how to deal with the elements in their second half performance against Barron and Ferbic. They only led by a point with the wind in that game. You won it by 7. Dale Masterson from Owen Finnerty. He'll send it in towards the attack. Stephen McCooey trying to find a way inside of Stephen. Owen Finnerty kept going forward, but good defending by Cuilinn. Michael Maughan there wins the ball. But they didn't get it out quickly, and it's back with Stephen McCooey for St. James's. He'll give it across to Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill with the pass to Dale Masterson outside the 40-metre line. Jonah Culligan. Jack O'Neill has the ball. Goes for a Gary Owen-style kick out to the left to Dan McNulty. No tries on here, but he might try and get a score out of it. Dan McNulty gives it across to Fenton Cooney. Fenton Cooney has a look. Decides not to go for it. Looking for a better option. Paul Conroy's always a better option. And Paul Conroy tries to hit it at an angle. Will it come in for him? Will it come in? Not to be in that occasion. You could see what he was trying to do when he shakes his head afterwards, but he was trying to judge the elements. And it is, even though it's favoured St. James, it is a kind of a crossfield one going into the corner. So kicking it from right to left was the idea. 30 seconds of normal time remaining in the first half. St. James's 8 points. Cuilinn 3. Not a game that's come alive yet, but the weather hasn't helped either. A lot at stake. Now the team will be going out with the championship, but one of them will be getting the bye in 2 weeks' time. Great take in the middle of the park there by Cuilinn and by Jared Davern in particular. Has the advantage. Paul Conroy staying tight with him. And there's a bit of a pull-in afterwards between the two of them. The referee just got dominant. And Cuilinn are on the move. Tom Clark takes it from Owen Kelly. Tom Clark moves a bit further. Gets inside Dale Masterson. Will he go for a shot himself? David Wynn's inside there too. He's looking for options out on the left. Jared Davern back involved in the move. A chance for a shot off the crossbar. Off the crossbar for Cuilinn. And nearly a big goal scoring opportunity there. And play is going to go down the far side of the field. But Cuilinn nearly created something out of nothing. Jack Nolan has the ball for St. James's. Back towards the 45-metre line. Jack O'Neill. And Jack Folan has pushed up to join the attack. Sends a high ball down, but it's another one that's going to go astray for St. James's. We're on 10 wides now for them. Pierce Greeley to get us going again. The 1 minute has been played. Pierce Greeley restarts the action. Cluster of bodies in the middle of the park. Tom Clark, the man who wins it. And the referee, James Malloy, will blow the half-time whistle, and it's a half-time where St. James's had the elements and they eventually made them count. The sides were level 3 points apiece in the opening 10 minutes, but then St. James's started to put distance between them on the scoreboard. Jonah Culligan on target, as was Brian Kane. There was a 2-pointer from Paul Conroy as well. Another score from Stephen McCooey made it 8 points to 3, but just before half-time Neil Mulcahy hit the crossbar for Cuilinn. It could have been a big score. They will have to win in the second half. Will the rain stay away? We will find out. And we have highlights coming up. We'll be back with live coverage of the second half of the Bond Secours Galway Senior Football Championship. St. James's, can they pull off a big victory? We will find out. The half-time score here in Kenny Park in Athenry. It's St. James's 8 points, Cuilinn 3. Got 2 goals in the last day. This is the 2-pointer here. Sam O'Neill with a kick at the post. It's gone over the bar. We wait for the official signal. It's a 2-pointer for St. James's. Now they go inside. They go for the shot. Infinity with the Yeah. Good evening, thank you very much, and welcome back here to Kenny Park in Athenry. We get ready for the second half of the Bon Secours Galway Senior Football Championship, brought to you on Galway GATV in association with Stream Sport. Half time here in the game, it's St. James's 8 points, Cuilinn 3. And we're here in the Cuilinn are leading Barron and Ferbiga by 9 points to 6 at half time in the other live game that we have on, which would mean, as things stand, St. James's, Cuilinn and Cuilinn will all have 4 points in this group, and St. James's would be on top on the mini-league table with a +4 scoring difference, Cuilinn +2, Cuilinn -6. But a lot of football to take place between now and then, and of course, if Barron and Ferbiga get back into the other game, it becomes a bit more black and white regarding who'll top between these two teams as well. St. James's could still finish third in the table, but we'll see how all that pans out. The referee, James Malloy, going to get ready to restart the second half. Haven't noticed any changes so far, but if we spot any, we'll tell you about them. The ball is thrown in, and Desi Keneally has the ball from Cuilinn. The elements will be in their favour in the second half. And myself and Aidan on the camera there were just discussing at half time about the wind going into the corner. It does make it straightforward. Niall Walsh with a kick. He's inside the arc, and he kicks the ball. He puts it over the bar. 15 seconds into the second half. Cuilinn starting with intent. They get the first score, and that brings it now to 8 points to 4. And based on that many table I was telling you about, we won't spend the whole half telling you about permutations. That would have them both now in +3, which have Cuilinn in front on points scored. But anyway, we'll make that more simple as time goes on. Let's focus on the action. And Cian Costello, the goalkeeper for St. James's, to restart the action. And he sends the ball out the field, but it's won on that particular occasion by David Wynn. David Wynn to Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox to Ger Davern, and back to David, and back to Charlie. Charlie, the All-Ireland minor winner in 2022, tried to send the ball inside there for Neil Mulcahy. Can he find a way in? Not to be at the moment. He'll look for support. Neil Mulcahy with the blue boots. Charlie Cox will send it out towards Tom Clark. So Tom Clark with the ball for Cuilinn. Plays a 1-2. I think Niall Walsh was looking for a free, and Sam O'Neill just ignored him. This is going to be a kick by Johnny Maloney on the 40, and it's gone over. They're claiming it's a 2. It's a 2 given. We thought it was a 2 ourselves, but sometimes you just have to watch the official and be sure. And it's gone over the bar to 2-pointer for Cuilinn, and all of a sudden now it's back to a 2-point ball game. 6 points to Cuilinn, 8 to St. James's. And good play there. And at a 2-point advantage again. Now if Cuilinn don't beat Barron and Ferbiga, one will do for St. James's to top the table. Cian Costello to restart the action. Of course, the 40-metre arc, it's very difficult to get the kick-outs when you're dealing with wind like this. That looked like it went off the foot off. Well, no, the linesman says it didn't. It's going to be a Cuilinn ball, no argument for St. James's. David Wynn restarts the action, and you can see the urgency in Cuilinn at the start of the second half. Owen Kelly gives it across. Mark Bradley, where's number 20? Playing a corner back. Sends the ball out the far side of the field. Cuilinn, no doubt being told, gets them scores early in the second half. Make them count. Niall Walsh. From Johnny Maloney, he hits from distance as well, and the goalkeeper got a touch on that, and he had to get a touch, and it gone out for a 45. Those dipping balls can be very, very difficult to deal with. So it's going to be a 45 for Cuilinn. So if you're just back to us for the second half here in Kenny Park at Nice, St. James's 8 points, Cuilinn 6. Desi Keneally about to take a 45. And this could bring it back to a 1-point ball game. Cuilinn have already matched their first half total. Desi Keneally came in top scorer on 2:15. He's only had 1 point in this game so far. But it's unlikely to be a day for a 1-6 or a 1-9. Desi Keneally with the 45 takes his time. Well disciplined in the art of free taking. 45 taking, puts it over the bar. Another score for Cuilinn. And it's back to a 1-point ball game. It's 7 points to Cuilinn, 8 to St. James's. And St. James's want to get their hands on the ball. Get things up and moving. I mentioned they don't have Johnny Dewan back yet. Cian Costello will take his time with this. They're in the Division 3 A-League final this year went down to Dunmore McHale's. King Costello, long ball out the field. The breaks are important. That's a great take by Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill looking for the advantage because you don't move it forward anymore. You have to find a bit of space. Dan McNulty back to Jack. Jack O'Neill. The brother Sam's in front. Daniel has gone in front as well. Paul Conroy's behind him, but he'll give it out to Jonah Culligan. Jonah Culligan outside the 45-metre line. St. James's. 10 wides in the first half. They won't be happy about that. Ryan O'Toole. Send it across to Fenton Cooney. And Fenton Cooney now will bring the ball up the field. Well, sideways at least. Sam O'Neill on the 65-metre line. Looking for a way inside. The wind's again very, very strong. Of course, Sam O'Neill himself and Jack, grandson of the legendary Billy O'Neill, who played football and hurling for Galway and also for Cork and played for Galway United. He won an All-Ireland in football in 1956. Ryan O'Toole with the ball. Takes the push. The advantage is given for the foul. Owen Finnerty. Referee still has the hand out, we can tell you. Jonah Culligan. Give it back to Owen Finnerty. Can he turn inside? The advantage is gone. Cuilinn will try and bring the ball out the field. Sean O'Connor back in defence. Referee's going to bring it forward. So Jared Davern, I think, is bringing it over the 50 metres. So there's going to be a chance for a 2-pointer, and this will be a chance to overturn the deficit. And again, if the referee thinks you're not letting play happen quickly, all of a sudden things can change. Desi Keneally on the 40-metre line, or the 40-metre arc. He's standing on the 45-metre line. If he kicks it before the 40-metre arc, this will be worth 2 if it goes over. And this will put Cuilinn into the lead for the first time since the opening score of the game. Desi Keneally with the free from Cuilinn, puts the ball over the bar, and it's an orange flag at the 2-pointer, and Cuilinn go into the lead for the first time. It's Cuilinn 9 points, St. James's 8, 4 scores, 6 points, 2 orange flags, and it's Cuilinn 9 points, St. James's 8. And now that puts St. James's vulnerable to drop the third. They'll still be in the preliminary quarter-final draw. It's really all about seeding. Just for those unaware, the top team in each group goes straight through to the quarterfinals, which takes place in 4 weeks' time. The second and third place teams will cross-play in the preliminary quarterfinals in 2 weeks. And unless there's a big change around here, St. James's are going to be involved in that weekend. Sean Kelly, the Galway captain, gives the pass to Jared Davern to Tom Clark. Tom Clark back, but Sean was waiting for it. Paul Conroy is there. The two Galway players go to battle. Ball goes out over the line. Good pressure applied by Paul Conroy. And it's going to be a restart. He was the Galway All-Ireland winning minor captain back in 2007. Sends it inside to Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill has a player running off the shoulder, Dale Masterson, but he goes himself. Jack O'Neill moving up the field. Stephen McCoy will give it back to Owen Finnerty. They want to get themselves back in level terms first anyway, St. James's. Paul Conroy. I don't know how visual it is on the screen for you watching at home, but it's very strong wind here. Fenton Cooney to Jonah Culligan. Nearly 8 minutes gone in the second half. Cuilinn 9 points, St. James's 8. Jack Nolan waits for Dale Masterson. Dale Masterson moving down the right. Charlie Cox staying close to him. Dale gives it to Jonah Culligan. Jonah Culligan, we're looking for options. St. James's, the instructions will be given, and they held possession well in the second game against Barnard of Verbiga. It's to pick out the good moments. This might be one. Owen Finnerty inside. Goes for a shot, a save from Pierce Greeley. It goes across the goal. I don't even think it's going to cross the line. But St. James's do create a goal-scoring opportunity. And the Cuilinn goalkeeper equal to the task. That would have been a big moment in the game. But that's what St. James's have to do in the second half. Be patient. Wait for the chances. Sam O'Neill with the ball. Back to Fenton Cooney. Dale Masterson on the 65-metre line. Charlie Cox trying to get involved. Gives away the free. For those listening in audio, St. James's attacking the goal to the right in the second half. Paul Conroy goes a bit further up the field. Has Jack O'Neill there now. Jack O'Neill trying to get inside. Cuilinn defending very, very well, but there was a foul in the back. And Jack O'Neill wins the free. Johnny Maloney might be in the guilty party. And St. James's will take this opportunity surely to get their first score of the second half and to level the teams. 9 minutes gone. This will make it 9 points apiece. Jack Nolan, Galway under 20 in 2023, to take it right in front of the posts. To level the teams. Of course, St. James's could top this group with a 1-point victory, depending on what happens in the other match. They want to get back level first. Cuilinn will top the group if they don't lose. Jack Nolan with the kick, puts it over the bar. 10 minutes gone in the second half. The sides are level at 9 points apiece. Interestingly, it's only the second time they'll be level in the match. Pierce Greeley, what a save he had a few minutes ago. Out the field, long ball down towards the opposing 65-metre line. The mark is won by Sam O'Neill. Sam O'Neill sends it off straight away. Jack O'Neill, the brother, will kick it in. Just over-kicked the intended one-on-one situation. And it's won by Mark Bradley from Cuilinn. Neil Mulcahy. David Wynne just hasn't got it away. Brian Kane applies the pressure. And the ball's been fouled. St. James's win the free. And it'll be a chance for them now to go for the lead. And Jack Nolan, I think he's going to have a go at a two-pointer. It's very hard to see the lines here, but looks like it's on the mark. We'll keep an eye on the referee if it goes over. Jack Nolan. Just got his first score of the game not too long ago. This might be worth 2 if it goes between the posts. Jack Nolan for St. James's with the kick. Is it good? Is it accurate? Not to be. The wind took it in. It goes wide. So it remains 9 points apiece between these two teams. And Pierce Greeley to get us going again. So Pierce Greeley restarts the action, sends it down the field. Jared Davern gets a touch. Tom Clark has it for Cuilinn. It's just kicked down the left. They want to get a score, get back control. A great start to the second half for the West Galway team. I think Cuilinn might be bringing on a change shortly. But Dale Masterson has the ball. The referee wants to get on with the action. Aidan Claffey looks like he'll be entering the fray, which will be his first appearance of the season as well. Owen Kelly with the ball for Cuilinn on the 45-metre line. They'll bring it back to the 65. Kick across to Neil Mulcahy. Neil Mulcahy pushes forward. Desi Keneally sends it across. This is good play. 1-2 with David Wynne. It's out now to Niall Walsh. He'll have a go from distance. Will that come in for them? Not to be the St. James's bench. We're already clapping that wide. So we're going to have a change here for Cuilinn now. And Aidan Claffey will come onto the field to play. Another big Cuilinn name. And he's coming in defence. Mark Bradley, the man that makes way. 13 minutes gone in the second half. 9 points apiece. Cian Costello, an All-Ireland under-20 winner in 2020 with Galway. The goalkeeper for St. James's restarts the action. Touch along the ground. Brilliantly to Paul Conroy for St. James's. Kicks it into space. This will be a good move. Jack Nolan was involved in it too. Sam O'Neill does a push off the ball. And the referee was looking right at it, gives the free in. Tom Clark, the guilty party, says James Malloy, the referee. So Jack Nolan to take this now to try and put St. James's in front. They won't be concerning themselves what's happening elsewhere. Jack Nolan to get ready to take the free. To the right of the posts. Attacking the goal to the right. Goes with a kick. Is it good? Well done, Jack, there in the background, and it has gone over the bar. He gets the score, and St. James's go back in front. St. James's 10 points. Cuilinn 9. St. James's are going making a change as well in a moment. We're hearing that it's level in the other game, 10 points apiece. That makes things very, very interesting all of a sudden. So the change on there now for Dave O'Connell. Comes on the field to play for St. James's. He replaces Brian Kane. That's their first change. Cuilinn with 2 changes. And with 15 minutes gone in the second half. And this Group 2 of the Bon Secours Galway Senior Football Championship is getting very, very interesting based on the latest news we're hearing from the other game. If Cuilinn and Barron and Ferbican were to draw, then a 1-point victory for St. James's would be enough for them to win the group. They are a few minutes behind us, we do believe. Paul Conroy, right in front of us here in the commentary box, restarts the action. We're looking for Dan McNulty, and Dan McNulty to Jack Nolan, back to Dan. Paul Conroy. 9 to 14. 14 is Fenton Cooney. Looks like Stephen McCooey. The defender just got in the way with Sean Kelly. Referee says it was a touch on the ground, a free in for St. James's. And another chance for Jack Nolan. So Jack Nolan now get ready to take this free. 16 and a half minutes gone in the second half. The rain threatening to come back again. Jack Nolan takes the free. They all count. It's gone over the bar for St. James's. 17 minutes gone in the second half, and there's 2 points between the teams. It's St. James's 11 points. Cuilinn 9. Cuilinn going for a 5th consecutive win in a row. We can tell you Cuilinn are now leading Barron and Ferbican 12 points to 10. So it goes back to looking for 5. They're on 2. Jack O'Neill wins the ball. Jonah Culligan. Dale Masterson is running off the shoulder. It'll come back to Fenton Cooney. Fenton Cooney to Paul Conroy. St. James just want to win this game first and foremost. They lead by 2. Cuilinn hitting 6 points from 4 kicks inside 6 minutes to go 1 up after being 5 down. But St. James's look like they've gotten back control of the game. Jack O'Neill with the ball in the 45-metre line. Gives it to Sam, the brother. Owen Finnerty comes up to get involved. Passes across to Dave O'Connell. Dave O'Connell. He moves inside the arc. Jack O'Neill. Referee keeping a good eye on it there. There's Cuilinn supporters calling for a foul. Every decision so important now. Cuilinn have overturned the ball. Now what can they do with this? Sean Kelly with the kick into space. 2-on-2 situation down the field. Here comes Desi. Desi Keneally takes the pass from Niall Walsh. Turning inside to Niall. Niall Walsh has support out there. We get the pass off. St. James is dead tight. Play continues on. Niall Walsh will have another go. Hand in from Dale Masterson. We continue on. All this action happening on the 45-metre line. And St. James has win the ball back. Jonah Culligan sends it up the field. Jack Foley was involved in that move as well. Paul Conroy. And Dan McNulty near the opposing 65-metre line. Dave Masterson. Fenton Cooney. Out the far side of the field to Dan McNulty. Owen Fennerty. Collision between players off the ball. Play continues on right on your screen here at the moment. Jack Folan wins the free. Jack Folan to Sam O'Neill. Sam O'Neill out in the right, goes for a kick inside. Again, players just colliding, whether they're slipping or colliding themselves. Jack Nolan, the mark, so it's a free shot at the post. Not too sure if that's coming in, but we'll go back for the mark. It is going in, to say. So as the referee overturned the decision, I think the referee has overturned the decision, and I have to say from our vantage point, I think he's made the right decision. So it's been overturned, so we're going to go back for the mark. So just over 10 minutes to go. Jack Nolan, who took the shot, now will go for the mark here. With the kick. It's a score now. They were disputing it on the line, but it doesn't matter. And there's now 3 between them. 12 points to St. James's. 9 to Cuilinn. The rain is coming back out and about. 13-10 to Cuilinn in the other game, we believe. So 5 is the magic number if you're a St. James's supporter to win the group. Unless there's a goal for Barron and Ferbic in the other match. Paul Conroy wins the mark in the middle of the field, trying to find space to get it away. Dale Masterson. A lot is going to happen between the 2 live matches here in Galway GATV in the next few minutes. Jack O'Neill to Fintan Cooney. Fintan Cooney in the middle of the park. He'll go forward, look for support. Paul Conroy out to Jack Folan. Jack Folan moving forward. Will he offload it? No, he just keeps going. He like he looked at the referee and tell the dummy. Dave O'Connell to Stephen McCooey. Can he find a way in for a shot? Jack O'Neill will give it back to Jack Folan. The instructions there you might hear in the background from the St. James's management. Hold the ball. Sam O'Neill went for the shot. Owen Kelly put his body in the way from Cuilinn, and they turned it around. As things stand, Cuilinn will still win the group, but St. James's will lead the match. Foul committed. Aidan Claffey winning the free there from Cuilinn. And now can they punish with a score? Since that blitz in the first 6 minutes, they haven't scored since. 15 minutes without a score from Cuilinn. They've won a free here. And it could be an opportunity for a 2-point effort. The rain is back here in Kenny Park in Athenry. Desi Keneally getting ready to take this free. His team 3 behind. But this will be worth 2 if it goes over. "22 minutes gone in the second half. Desi Keneally, far side of the field, attacking the goal to the right, hits it high in the air. Can he keep it accurate? They have a look at it, and they say no. It won't count. Another change from Cuilinn. So Cuilinn bringing on a player. It's Pádraig Flaherty, wearing number 9. And he'll come on for number 7, Sean O'Connor. Another change for them. St. James's 12 points, Cuilinn 9. In the County Senior Football Championship. 3 between the teams. But as things stand, St. James's need another 2. Pádraig Flaherty involved in the action. Niall Walsh getting inside, but the referee says he put these hands on the St. James's defender. And it's going to be a free out. So 14 points to 11 to Cuilinn, we're being told. Means Cuilinn are still winning that game. And if Cuilinn wins, St. James's have to win here by 5. Other than that, Cuilinn will top the table. If St. James's don't win by the sufficient margin, they will finish second. And Cuilinn will be third. If St. James's don't win and Cuilinn win, they'll come second. And James's will be third. Hope that makes sense. Ryan O'Toole with the ball. Outside the 45-metre line, Fintan Cooney's covered nearly every blade of grass between the 2 45-metre lines in this game. Johnny Maloney wins it back for Cuilinn. in the middle of the park. Neil Mulcahy on his own 65-yard line, out to the left-hand side of Tom Clark. Tom Clark will push forward here now for Cuilinn towards the 45-yard line, gives it to Desi. Desi Keneally, thought about a shot, thought against it, moves a bit further. Tom Clark is still there, but Desi wants to bring it inside, and he's giving it to a player from St. James's. St. James's haven't brought it away though. Porrick Flaherty, Niall Walsh on the 45-metre line, kicks it across to the centre channel. David Wynn, there's a player free out the far side of the fields, ready to go with the Johnny Maloney again to go from the right. He's got one already, he's got another one! Over the bar, an orange flag. And Cuilinn all of a sudden have brought us back to a 1-point ball game. 12 points to 11. And an excellent effort from the 45-metre line. David Wynn with the pass across. And all of a sudden, it's St. James's all their work to turn it around the deficit they got themselves into at the start of the second half. They still lead the match, though. They'll take a great lift from that. Paul Conroy wins the ball in the middle of the field, gives it to Dale Masterson. Dale Masterson trying to move forward. Can't get past Sean Kelly. Back to Paul Conroy. And Jonah Culligan out on the right-hand side of the field. Dave O'Connell tried to play a 1-2 with Sam O'Neill. Play continues on, says the official. Dave O'Connell, isolated in the corner, is going to send a hopeful one across. And it's Stephen McCooey. Can he get inside for a shot across the goal for St. James's? Across the goal, not on target. And that was another big moment for St. James's in this game. Now, what can Cuilinn do? Tom Clark. Desi Keneally. Desi Keneally pushing forward. Tom Clark. St. James is trying to mark tightly. Johnny Maloney has it again. He's going to have another go. This will be his third if he gets it. Goes across the goal to the right and wide. But it's well within his arsenal, Johnny Maloney. Known as a defender, but the new rules suit him as a wing forward. 1 point between the teams. St. James's 12, Cuilinn 11. St. James's are going making a change. Desi Hines going to come on for them. We'll confirm who's going off at the moment. It's getting the wind in force here. Looks like the Fintan Cooney that's going off. It is Fintan Cooney going off for St. James's. They're on the verge of a big victory for their own confidence against Cuilinn. But is it enough? St. James's 12 points, Cuilinn 11. Sam O'Neill, a couple of 2-pointers will change everything here. Sam O'Neill wins the ball. For St. James's out the far side to Dan McNulty. The Galway minor in 2019. On the move. Down the left-hand side of the field. This is good by St. James's. Just couldn't keep control of the ball. And Cuilinn overturned possession. 2.5 minutes to go. St. James's 12 points, Cuilinn 11. Ger Davern in 3 added minutes we've 2 of normal time, so 5 minutes of football remains here. David Wynn on the move. The ex-Galway player, Ger Davern, with possession, surrounded by 4 players. Sam O'Neill wins the ball for St. James's inside his own 65-metre line. Gives it to Paul Conroy. Paul Conroy fists it forward now for the City side. Stephen McCooey, who nearly had a goal-scoring opportunity. Back to Paul. Paul Conroy passes it forward. Back to Paul again. A 1-2 with Jack O'Neill. Paul Conroy with the shot. Is it good? It goes across the goal to the right and wide. A few supporters thought it gone over, but not to be. And Cuilinn will take their time with this. Pierce Greeley getting us going again, the new goalkeeper for Cuilinn. Win short. St. James is applying the pressure. People calling for fouls, people calling for bits and bobs. It's all the same. Michael Mohan, has he picked up a knock there? He looks like he'd be okay. David Wynn with possession. Outside his own 65-metre line, the pass out the far side. And Cuilinn move forward again. They've been making hay out the right flank. Inside the 40-metre arc. An opportunity for a shot at the post. Into the hands of the goalkeeper. It was Johnny Maloney who had the effort again, but Cian Costello was able to deal with it. But St. James's now will probably know they need to move things quickly. They're going to get the sufficient scores that they need to win this group. St. James's 12 points, Maigh Cuilinn 11. Here in the Bon Secours Galway Senior Football Championship. Collision there late, the referee blows the whistle. Cuilinn have scored a goal in the other game, we've been told. It's Cuilinn 114, Barron and Ferbic 11 points, so we'll leave our video printer now. Because it really comes down to this here now. Aidan Claffey gets the yellow card for that late challenge. And quite simply in this group now, Cuilinn are going to win the other game. St. James's need to win this by 5 to top the group. Victory will get them second place anyway. And if Maigh Cuilinn were to get back and get even a draw, St. James's will drop to third. Paul Conroy with the ball inside the 65-metre line. Has support. The 30 minutes have been played. We're now playing the 3 additional minutes. Jonah Culligan. Jonah Culligan to Sam O'Neill. Sam O'Neill gets within range, goes for the shot, but it slices out. And St. James's will look at the wides that they've had in this match that prove costly regarding topping the group. They are on course to win the game. They lead by 1, 12 points to 11. Pierce Greeley for Maigh Cuilinn. But a Maigh Cuilinn scored. It's called Cuilinn now. What position will they finish? Referee says touch on the ground by Pádraig Faraday. Jack O'Neill wants to take it quickly. He solos it, gives it across to Dale Masterson. Dale Masterson, 1 minute of the added time has been played. The wind is strong here. It's hard to see where 2 orange flags will come out of. Can St. James's work a goal? Stephen McCooey trying to come inside. Has Jonah Culligan for support. Stephen McCooey might open up for himself. He gets inside, goes for the shot. He kicks it over the bar. Well, they're celebrating that because it's a point. They're celebrating that because it looks like a win. But he might have been better advised to go for the goal. It's St. James's 13 points, Maigh Cuilinn 11. Maigh Cuilinn are making a change. Cillian Gallagher makes his 3rd appearance of this season as an impact sub. There's a player gone off injured for Maigh Cuilinn. And we did mention, I think it's Michael Mohan. We did mention he looked like he picked up a knock. And he is limping off, so a bit of concern there for Maigh Cuilinn. 2 minutes of injury time have been played. St. James's 13 points, Maigh Cuilinn 11. St. James's on course for victory, but Maigh Cuilinn on course for the quarterfinals. That's our understanding of things. Of course, the other game won't be over yet. Maigh Cuilinn with the ball. Desi Keneally going for a 2-pointer. Desi Keneally fists the air and he gets a 2-pointer for Maigh Cuilinn. And that's going to guarantee that they're going to top the group now anyway. The sides are level at 13 points apiece, and it's going to put Cuilinn up to second place. And St. James's down to third. St. James's will be gutted because they were looking for the win. The referee's blown the final whistle. It's finished in a draw. I just saw Dave O'Connell going off there at the end. I'm not too sure if there was a black card or not, but it's finished a draw match here in Kenny Park in Athenry. St. James's 13 points. Maigh Cuilinn 13 points. Desi Keneally with a 2-pointer at the end to rescue a draw for Maigh Cuilinn, and that means they have topped Group 2 on 5 points, and they will go straight through to the quarterfinals. The other game I don't think we will result in yet. Cuilinn were leading Barron and Ferbic by 5 points, so if it remains that way, Cuilinn will finish in second place on 4 points. St. James's will finish in third on 3 points. Both Cuilinn and St. James's will go into the preliminary quarter-final draw tomorrow, but they'll go through as Cuilinn the seeded team, St. James's not, and Barron and Ferbican will go into relegation unless anything dramatic happens in the closing stages of the other game. What we do know for certain is Cuilinn are in the quarter-finals and St. James's are in the preliminary quarter-finals. An intriguing contest in difficult weather, it had to be said, but a 2-pointer by Desi Keneally at the end rescues a draw for Cuilinn. Johnny Maloney also getting 2 orange flags for them. We hope you enjoyed our coverage here on Galway GATV in association with Stream Sport. Plenty more action live tomorrow in Tuam Stadium, where you can watch at 3:15 Milltown against Monavea Abbey, and at 5 o'clock Clare Galway against Dunmore McHale's. But here in Kenny Park in Athenry, a draw match. It's all over. Cuilinn are into the quarterfinals. St. James's are not. It finished Cuilinn 13 points, St. James's 13 points. It's taken 3 minutes. It's Faker McDonough. Got 2 goals the last day. Fifth the 2-pointer here. Sam O'Neill with a kick at the post. It's gone over the bar. We wait for the official signal. It's a 2-pointer for St. James's. Now they go inside. He'll go for the shot. O'Flaherty with the kick. It's gone over the bar. I thought for a moment he wasn't going to get there, but it does go over the bar. Captain Cuilinn to their 2 county title successes in 2020 and 2022. Takes the kick. The umpires look at each other. There was never a doubt about it. The ball goes. The kick at the post for Cuilinn, and the ball has gone over the bar. He has the advantage. It's going to be a free shot at the post, and the ball has gone over the bar. Getting very, very difficult to see here at the moment. Action of Paul Conroy to Brian Kane. Brian Kane goes for a shot at the post, and Brian Kane puts the ball over the bar. Another score by St. James's. Stephen McCooey, can he find a way inside? He has the advantage for a free. He'll go for the shot himself, and Stephen McCooey puts the ball over the bar. It's been a while since we had his time. This will be a big score if it goes over. He took his time. Paul Conroy, it goes over the bar. It's an orange flag. And he kicks the ball. He puts it over the bar. 15 seconds into the second half. Cuilinn starting with intent. This is going to be kicked by Johnny Maloney on the 40, and it's gone over. They're claiming it's a 2. It's a 2 given. We told him. Desi Keneally with the 45 takes his time. Well disciplined in the art of free taking, 45 taking, puts it over the bar, and is the opening score of the game. Desi Keneally with the free from Cuilinn, puts the ball over the bar, and it's an orange flag at the 2. Want to get back level first. Cuilinn will top the group if they don't lose. Jack Nolan with the kick, puts it over the bar. Goal to the right. Goes with a kick, is it good? Well done, Jack there in the background, and it has gone over the bar. The rain threatening to come back again. Jack Nolan takes the free. They all count. It's gone over the bar for St. Mark. So it's a free shot at the post. Not too sure if that's coming in, but we'll go back for the mark. It is going in, they say. Side of the fields. Ready to go with the Johnny Maloney again to go from the right. He's got one already. He's got another one. Oh, Stephen McCooey might open up for himself. He gets inside, goes for the shot. He kicks it over the bar. Well, they're celebrating that. With the ball, Desi Keneally going for a 2-pointer. Desi Keneally fists the air, and he gets a 2-pointer for Cuilinn.